shuttle thing. Hello folks, I'm going to have another little read from my book, Swifter Than a Weavers Shuttle. Where did I get up to last time? I don't suppose it matters. We're just reading little sections from it. Yeah, I'll start here. I vaguely remember another incident when I was younger than this. That's younger than 9, I think I was about 6. I walked out of school and came home. My daughter did that once. Just walked out of school. She picked some wild flowers on her way home for us. The school wanted us to discipline her for doing that, but I thought, what a great thing to do. Just walk out and come home. I felt like doing that myself a time or two. Of course, both my mother and father were at work. My mum worked in mill. She was a burler and mender. And my dad, at that time, he worked at the laundry, the hygienic laundry in Leeds. He was probably still a van man at that time. He eventually became the manager there. So I couldn't get in the house. This house was what they call a double-fronted back-to-back. A door, a window on either side. Open the door, the staircase is dead ahead. Go in that room there, and you've got your kitchen and living room. Go into the room and you've got your best room, your front room, which they used on a night, on a weekend. Up the stairs, bedroom on that side, bedroom on that side, and there was another little bedroom that my mum and dad were one of the first people on the street to have an inside loo put in, because we used to have to go down street to the yard to use the loo. But eventually we had a toilet put in it. So double fronted back to back on a cobbled street in Armley in Leeds. It was very windy, so I curled up on the front step and I put the hood of my coat over my head and I went to sleep. What I didn't know was that a neighbour rang the NSPCC, National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children, and reported my parents for neglect. I seem to have a knack of causing trouble even at that age. Yeah, some fella come round and they didn't know I'd come out of school. On another occasion, when we lived at Fernley Street in a much smaller house, my grandmother, whom I have no recollection of, lived at Gledhouse Street. So the house that I've just related to you was the house where my grandma lived. And we lived in another house on Fernley Street, which was much smaller. That'd be one room downstairs and then two up. One up, two up and one down, I think they called them. My mother's brother and his family moved in with my grandmother, and this caused trouble with my parents because my grandmother promised the house to my parents when she died. She was very ill, actually. I don't remember my grandmother at all. I was only young, and she was very ill, apparently. And nobody owned their houses in them days. These houses were rented. My grandmother had said to the landlord, could we, my mum and dad, have the house when she'd finished with it, and it said yes. When she did actually die, my mother's brother refused to move out, and I overheard my parents saying they were going to get them out of there one way or another. Well, what did I do? I went and told my mother and brother this, and this caused a rift in the family that never healed. Never. I remember when my mother's brother died, my mother wouldn't even go to his funeral. Yeah, it caused that much, a lifelong rift. But I suppose that should tell you never to talk about things in front of your kids. Anyway, that's a little bit more of my book, just to tease you with. Go and buy it. Bye.